All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are at another open office district growth with Superintendent Shauna Murphy today. We're so glad everyone could join us. And we are going to kick this off with the superintendent. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's an opportunity for open office for individuals to be able to ask the superintendent questions about the new growth plan. How you participate is you can leave a comment in the Facebook chat and we will share with the superintendent. We will also be in just a moment sharing a link with you to Zoom. So if you'd like to interact live with the superintendent, you can click the hand icon, raise your hand, and we'll bring you over and you can have a conversation with the superintendent directly. Superintendent, how are you today? Are you ready?
I'm great, Rob. Good day. Thank you. I am very ready.
Great. We're going to start with a couple starter questions here, and we have Mary Williams on as well, and she's tracking questions that we've gotten over the week. The first one would be the simple one: why the growth plan, and why now?
So we thought about the growth plan because of a couple of things. One, when we started this position in May, there were a couple of things going on. We had a $32 million budget gap that we needed to close. And when we started the work, we began by looking at every school budget, every central office budget. And then it made me think about conversations the board had had over about a couple of year period of time about things that we need to consider doing differently in our school district. And so looking at those plans, I thought, well, if we do continue to do business as we do currently, we will continue to have these multi-million dollar budget gaps. And so we began with phase one for the current school year, where we worked with the following schools: Riverview East, Mount Washington, Spencer Center, Odell Owens Center for Learning, Schroeder High School, and the Promise Center. And we created the Schroeder Middle School Junior High model as our first junior high school. So we're doing it in order to create more economic efficiencies in our school district, to be able to create programming that is in demand and seats that are in demand for our school district.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. Our next question is a little bit about the corridor model. Can you kind of explain how that's laid out and how that works?
Yeah, one way that we believe will be a more efficient district is by the creation of the corridor model. Now, I did not think of the corridor model. That is one of the aspects that came out of the ad hoc work, is to look at our district, our borders, our lines, where our kids are going to school. And so we believe that if we create this east, west, and central corridor model where students are primarily going to school from preschool all the way to 12th grade in that corridor, that there are a lot of efficiencies that we can create in our district, including working on our transportation system with respect to our budget around transportation, as well as the routes that we work with Queen City Metro to set up for our families. One of the things I'll add to that about the corridor model is a driver around programming. So for example, on the west side of town at Dater High School, we offer an international baccalaureate program. Well, we don't currently offer anything on the east side of town, and so this plan will allow us to do both. The same is true for early college. We currently offer an early college option on the east side of town at Schroeder High School, but nothing like that on the west side of town. So we want to be able to provide kids, no matter where they live, the opportunities for an educational experience that they and their families are asking for. Thus the corridor model.
Superintendent, thank you very much. Can you talk a little bit about how the quarter model and how phase two is going to affect transportation?
So we are working with Metro on those kinds of efficiencies. So right now, there are kids who maybe live in Price Hill and they may go to school at Withrow in Hyde Park. And if a student is in the corridor model, then that means they don't have that transportation time at the start and end of the school day. Then that means that the child's school is closer to their home, is an easier way for families, for parents, for guardians to be able to access their child's teachers by being closer to home and in that same neighborhood.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. Our next question is going to be about the autism units. I know there's a lot of concern about that. Why the Department of Student Services and how that's going to be reshaped in the growth plan and the efficiencies for students.
I appreciate that, Rob. So, one of the things that we discovered and thought deeply about when we looked at Riverview East Academy is for our students who are in units, specialized classroom units, including autism, but others, a lot of times they, in particular, were traveling very far from their home in order to attend school. And so we thought there must be a more efficient way to do this, a more cost-effective way to do this, and a more student and family-friendly way to do this. So we are currently working with our Department of Student Services to look at where our kids live and where they go to school and where they potentially could go to school closer to their home. So there are a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of people at the table having these conversations. The other piece I think that a lot of the families and the teachers often ask about, and one of our goals is to keep the units together. So when I say that, I mean keep the students together, keep the teachers and the paraprofessionals that have been working with the children together in the same unit. And if there happens to be a need to move the unit, it would be done so as a whole.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. We know that the district lottery is in full swing now. We're in process. Can you tell us a little bit about one, maybe the decision making that this is still data collecting? Talk about that and talk about how it affects the lottery as well.
So we did open the lottery as scheduled November the 1st, and it runs through December. And so final decisions on the lottery won't be made immediately. So this gives families time and opportunity to look at what schools, types of programs they may be interested in for their child. In addition to that, this is still a season of getting information and feedback and things to think about and consider as we are rolling through the plan and looking at what are the absolute best options for our students. And so nothing has been finalized. This plan is not moving ahead at this time. We are still in the engagement season where we want to hear from our stakeholders, including our families and community members. Still working through the plan.
And this is part of that engagement, right? And so this is our opportunity to have people come ask questions and listen. So I'm going to remind everyone how you do that. So because people are jumping on and off on Facebook, and we appreciate that. But if you'd like to join and ask questions of the superintendent, you can leave them in the comments. We've also shared the link to Zoom with you as well. If you'd want to come over and actually have a conversation with the superintendent, we invite that as well. We'll click the hand icon, and we do have some individuals here in Zoom. If they'd like to engage, they can either put their questions in the chat or they can click the hand icon, raise their hand, and we'll bring them over. We had a pretty good discussion last time on the open office, so we'd love to have you engage with the superintendent. This is your time to be able to engage on these questions. So,
Yes, up to your point, this is one of several open office hours to be able to talk to the people about really, this is focused on the growth plan, but if you have other questions, we're happy to work to address those questions as well. In addition, we have through this plan met with the principals. We've met with the local school decision-making committees. We have a couple of more of those that we need to take care of. And then we also have some community engagement sessions in person that have been scheduled that we will work through as well. So this is one of many opportunities, and this is not the last open office hour on this topic.
and we will share here shortly on both Facebook and in the comments the other engagement sessions. So if you're looking for future opportunities, they will be there as well. Superintendent, let's keep going. Can you tell us a little bit about how the growth plan is going to affect career tech if it moves forward?
Yes, for several years, we have had students and families asking about vocational education. Well, in the state of Ohio, it's no longer called vocational education, it's called career and technical education. And within the CTE framework, there are types of programs our students and our families have been requesting. One includes entrepreneurship. There are a lot of young people who want to know as much as they can about being able to own and operate their own business. So we plan to bring an entrepreneurship program within the next 2 years. The second piece and where we're expanding is in the area of automotive. So there was a time where the district had automotive programs and no longer have them. And we have not had them for quite some time. But we have an opportunity to bring in automotive training for young people. And then there is a third career and technical education program that our young people have asked for over the years, not even just in the last 2 or 3 years, but over multiple years, is cosmetology. There are a lot of young people who want to become cosmetologists in a variety of ways. I think that blends really well with the entrepreneurship work that we're looking to do. And so those three programs, entrepreneurship, cosmetology, and automotive, are in the works for the next couple of years. I want to also talk to you a little bit about military. So we do have students who join the military every year. We do have students who want to learn and grow and do more with the military. So right now, we have a junior ROTC Army program at Aiken High School. We started last year with one teacher. This year, we added a second teacher because the program is so popular there. So there is a school on the far west side of town, our furthest west side of town, Sailor Park, where we're looking to expand that from not only being pre-K to 8, but adding a high school component. So one grade level over the next several years. So ninth grade, it being added next year, making it be a school that goes from pre-K to 9. The following year, we'll add grade 10, grade 11, and grade 12. The principal already has an amazing layout for how that could work for her school and for that particular community. What we're looking at adding there is an early college component. The other piece that we're looking at is the military. So we are investigating whether that will be an Air Force junior ROTC, a Navy junior ROTC, or even perhaps a Coast Guard junior ROTC. Those branches have particular interest in working with us, and we have interest in working with them as well, because we know that we have several students who are interested in those types of opportunities as well. So we're looking at college, career, and military experiences that are available for the students who attend Sailor Park School right now.
Very exciting, Superintendent, and thank you so much for sharing all that. It's exciting to see that space growing. All right, we have another question. If you separate junior high for Clark Montessori, how do you plan to maintain the Montessori pedagogy that says children of ages 12 through 18 should learn together? That's the first question, and I'll continue with the next one. Yep, from that.
Sure, I appreciate that. We have thought very long and very hard about this, and this is one area the board has asked us to look a little more deeply, and so we're doing that. In our research, we have found that there isn't anything that says that they have to be together in order to be successful. I do understand that there are children and families who like this current model 7 through 12, but the rationale of why we're doing this is because we have students who would like to have a seat in our Montessori programming, grade 7 and on, but because of our current structure, we're not able to provide that on the east side and fully on the west side at this point either, because not only is Clark at a capacity size, but also Gamble High School. And so we're also looking at how we can expand seats at grade 7 and beyond for Gamble as well. So we have this happening both on the east side and on the west side.
Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent. Our next question is another part of the same question. How do you plan to support teachers to keep the accreditation for Montessori?
Oh, absolutely. We definitely value and expect and will keep the accreditation for Montessori. We have great teams working together. We have a fabulous curriculum department. And I think we're all on the same page about the need to maintain that accreditation. No question there. If there's an adjustment with seventh and eighth grade, that will not have a bearing on the accreditation.
Thank you so much. Again, this is a four-parter, so we're going to keep going, Superintendent. How will you ensure the programs are cohesive if students are in separate buildings?
How will I ensure that the programs are cohesive if the students are in separate buildings? So to the
Yes.
best of my knowledge, in speaking to people who are currently working in our Montessori programming, I asked if they would help me to understand and share examples of the seventh and eighth graders working together with the 9 through 12 students. I'm very curious if there is an example that someone can share with me. I really, really want to hear what that example is. So I'm not sure that this would disrupt the cohesiveness instructionally, because I have not yet been given an example of them working together as far as instructional practices or Montessori practices are defined.
Thank you very much. And Superintendent, this is the last question, and because we're open office and we're trying to be as transparent as possible, I think you've
Yeah.
already addressed it, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Mhm.
Are you concerned about breaking up this learning group and therefore not following the Montessori practice?
Yes, and the people that I have spoken with in doing my research, I have not yet been given any data, any documentation as far as Montessori education having to be grade 7 through 12. I am very interested. There could be something, maybe I didn't look in the right places, or maybe people have not shown me yet where this would disrupt the Montessori way. I'm very curious and would love to see if that could be shared with me. I'm happy to read about it, excited to read about it if that exists. I just have not found it, and it has not been shared with me. I have only been told the opposite, that it is not a requirement to be a successful Montessori program.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. All right, we do have more people joining on Facebook, so I'm going to do another reminder. This is Open Office Growth District Growth Plan with the Superintendent Shauna Murphy. If you want to participate today, this is all about really you being able to ask open-ended questions and the superintendent engaging. You can comment in the Facebook chat and we will respond and share that with the superintendent. Or you can join us via Zoom, which has also been shared on Facebook, and we will invite you over and you can have a one-on-one conversation with the superintendent, just exactly like it sounds. Open office. So we really appreciate you joining us. So please feel free to jump in and engage with us. We'd love to have you. Oh, and by the way, a little bit of feedback, Superintendent. The individual who asked all those wonderful questions said thank you for taking the time and answering them. So yeah, so kudos.
Absolutely.
So and that we appreciate that back and forth. Superintendent, let's say so we're in the engagement process right now. And if this plan does move forward, how will parents be notified that for their children, hey, these changes are being made? What will the process look like, do you think?
I appreciate that question. We will have a strong communication plan about this. You will hear directly from our central office about this, and the principal will be briefed about how we will move should this plan move forward.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. Let's go ahead and dive a little bit into the RAP. What is the RAP and how is it going to serve our community?
Sure, we have a large percentage of our students who are experiencing homelessness. It's a growing population year after year. We have children who are homeless, living in cars, living under bridges. We want to be able to provide them resources to make sure that they are successful and they are safe and they have the food, the clothing, the shoes, the school supplies they need to be successful every day. So we have currently a Project Connect with Rebecca Beach and her team. And we want to expand those services by providing wraparound services and thus calling it the WRAP.
Thank you, Superintendent. We are pulling more comments right now, live from Facebook. So, Clark Montessori has worked hard to be a good neighbor to the Hyde Park community. Lack of parking is already an issue at the school for staff and students. Adding more schoolers will add to the need for more parking. Has there been any conversation with Hyde Park community about their option on adding more high school students and therefore more cars to their neighborhood?
We have not had a conversation with Hyde Park about adding to parking, adding more cars. No.
But but definitely, oh, sorry, we're the click's not clicking today, I noticed. Um, but we're doing well. Um, but yeah, but definitely great feedback, kind of stuff that the community helps us think about, right? So
Yeah, we have had conversations with Hyde Park in the past, really more around the number of students who there's an agreement about the number of students who can be in the building, but we have not had a conversation with them about parking concerns at all.
thank you so much, Superintendent. And then lastly, as of
Rob,
now,
Rob,
yes,
may I ask a question? The
please.
person who asked about communication, really sparked my curiosity, and I just wanted to see if it's possible to follow up with that person or anyone else on the call. What is the best way to communicate with them? What they would like to see in terms of communication about this? If
Yeah, as we start rolling out the plan. Yeah,
yeah,
so this was a question that was actually asked in between sessions. So that individual, so we've been honoring those as well. So as we've
sure,
seen things on social media, so this individual is not on at the moment. Um,
understood.
but no, I think anyone who's watching right now, of the individuals watching, if they do have suggestions or how they would like to see communications, I think that would be wonderful feedback. So
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep. And then another question that happened that occurred in between sessions was why is this process happening during the lottery process?
We wanted to honor what we said we would do, and that is to run the lottery process. We do have the ability to make some adjustments along the way, and as the previous person pointed out, have strong communication around what those changes may need to be. So there may be no changes. There may be absolutely no changes, and then we're right on time with our lottery, and that's why we felt it would be important to move forward with our lottery system.
And superintendent, there are schools that are not being affected by the phase plan, correct? Like Walnut Hills, SCPA, and maybe others.
Well, let me say this. So SCPA is a part of the plan.
Hmm.
Right now, SCPA has two start times and has a tiered bus system. And this plan would change some of their transportation. And so, yes, they are a part of phase two. Now, there are Walnut, I will say, was in the pre-phase one. So Walnut, Pleasant Ridge, Montessori, and Walnut, Pleasant Ridge, Montessori, it escapes me. They were in like a pre-phase. So Pleasant Ridge Montessori had the Hyde Park expansion. Walnut Hills had an expansion with their domed area, and then Hyde Park Elementary School also had work done with their gym and expansion. You may remember they spent several years pre-pandemic and through the pandemic in trailers, mobile units as classrooms. And we wanted to be able to give those children regular classroom space. So those were somewhat, I would call the pre-phase one. And again, phase one was Riverview East, Mount Washington, Spencer Center, Odell Owens Center for Learning, Schroeder, and the Promise Center, and the creation of the Schroeder Middle School. We're in phase two, which has about 25 or so schools involved, but yet and still there are a few other schools that are not involved that are at or beyond their capacity right now.
Thank you. Trying to feed in a little bit. We also adjusted the start times as well last year and started that as well. Will that change this year with the next phase of the growth plan?
That's a great question. We will have to see how all of this comes together because not all schools have the same start time. This is a result of the way our yellow buses have to run, for one. And so we are not sure whether or not start times will have to be adjusted as a result of this plan. We will, if it is a change, we will let you know as a part of our communication plan what that will be. Again, with transportation, we do have Metro at the table talking to us on a regular basis. Our transportation department is in close relationship with Metro and with our yellow bus companies in order to provide more efficient services as well.
Thank you, Superintendent. This was a question in between. Can you give an example of a high school that is overpopulated and how the plan will address this?
Yes. So you have most of our high schools are overpopulated. Western Hills University High School is overpopulated. Aiken High School is overpopulated. Withrow University High School is overpopulated. We do believe that in creating a seventh and eighth, a junior high and or a middle school model as appropriate, that will help to relieve some of the crowding that is in our high schools right now.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. I'm going to take a moment and remind everyone how to participate. This is Open Office District Growth with Superintendent Shauna Murphy. This is an opportunity for you to engage with the superintendent on the new growth plan. You can do that by one, putting comments in the Facebook chat comments in Facebook under the comments section, and we will share it with the superintendent. You can click the hand icon and join us via Zoom. We have a good amount of individuals on us with Zoom. If you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with the superintendent, we'll bring you over and you can have a direct conversation. Or you can put even in the Zoom chat your question, and we will share it with the superintendent. It's 12:30, Superintendent, so I imagine some other individuals might be jumping on and joining us as their lunch starts today during the midday. And we, again, will share the engagement plan with you for other sessions if this one doesn't work for individuals as well, if they watch us later on Facebook. So, all right, and let's get to our next question. When do we see this? Again, we're kind of working through the questions in between. When do we foresee the final decision being made? How soon do schools and communities have to come together and propose ideas for increasing enrollment?
Yeah, I love that question. So we are working to keep the principals informed of where we are in this process as we meet with the Board of Education. The next meeting, for example, is Monday, the 18th. We will share with them where we are, what our new findings and learnings are, and then they will give us their feedback. We will hear what the public has to say about the plans and then work to be able to address concerns as needed. And so because the principals are aware of the possibilities, we have talked to them about thinking through what that means for their individual schools, what that looks like for their individual schools. I cannot say when a decision will be made. I'm simply not in that authority to do, but we do, I did tell and share with the principals, they will know first. And as quickly and as soon as possible. And then we will work with them through the process of being able to make the transition and ensure that they have what they need for their particular schoolhouse.
Superintendent, as of now, that is all the questions we have.
Okay.
In between, before, after. I don't know if you want to give the time back, wait another 5 minutes, maybe we get a 5-minute warning to individuals. I'll leave that up to you. It's your open office. So,
Well, is it possible to post a note about not having others on the call at this time? I'd hate for someone to log on at maybe quarter till and there not be anyone there. Or is it possible to say, hey, the next set of office hours will be?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do either one of those. Thank you. We open office hours. We were waiting. Oh, wait, hold on. We have some questions here in the other chat. So we are getting more questions. So
Okay,
we
great.
Hello, thank you for hosting one of these during our lunch hour. I'm glad I could join. Two things. One, comment, as a former middle school teacher, I love that CPS is thinking about middle schools and want to send support that there are families out there who are in support of middle schools, specifically Montessori middle schools. Question, What can you do to what can we do to streamline the transitional lottery process? As a current sixth grade parent, it feels like it's on the parents to collect all the information if they're interested in different schools. If it doesn't seem that they are the only one place to access all the information in an easy way.
Sure. I would invite anyone who has any trouble with the lottery process to call our customer care center. They do have personnel there, a live human being that can talk you through the process. Or if it is convenient to you or of something of interest to you, and you want to come to the customer care center here at the education center in person, there are people who can sit with you and help you navigate through the process.
Thank you, Superintendent. And we, as of now, I'm typing right now, we're going to share the customer care number in the Facebook comments as well for individuals who might be looking for it and on Zoom.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And also along the lines of the lottery, if there are suggestions or particular comments, we want to hear those as well.
Absolutely. And we'll pass those on to the individuals who definitely need to hear them as well. Thank you, Superintendent. Our next question, instead of a Montessori middle school, why can't this be Montessori high school? It can be smaller than Clark, Gamble, but does that matter?
Well, what we're looking to do is be able to provide seats for the rising sixth graders going into seventh grade. So the need or the demand for the direct high school is not what the immediate need is, but we have over the years had to turn away sixth grade Montessori students on the east side and the west because we haven't had enough seats. So we're trying to create a system where there are more seats available so that all of our sixth grade Montessori students will be able to continue that Montessori journey.
All right. So as we guessed, the 12:30 other individuals are clearly coming from lunch, so they are sending questions,
Okay,
and
great.
we appreciate that. Thank you very much. Maybe it's not lottery, but all the aspects of Walnut, Spencer, SCPA, and Clark Montessori, I've had a hard time getting someone to answer all of these questions. That was an anonymous attendee. If they want to put in the chat, by the way, before you answer, Superintendent, their contact information, we can make sure someone also reaches out to them, but I'll let you respond as well.
Yeah, I love that. If you do want to put your contact information into the chat, please do so. If you would like for me to call you one-on-one, I'm happy to do that as well, or have the appropriate person on my team reach out to you if you have specific questions in the lottery. I know Rob put the number to the customer care center in the chat as well. I think I heard, Rob, you say that the question is around Spencer Walnut in particular. I believe you may have said another school. I did not catch exactly what the question is.
Yeah, Clark. It's around the lottery. I think it was kind of a comment slash question.
Okay.
Maybe it's not the lottery, but all aspects of Walnut, Spencer, SCPA, Clark, Montessori. I've had a hard time getting someone to answer all their questions. So it sounds like they're trying to explore the lottery process
Okay.
in these schools specifically, and they may be having some challenges, maybe is how I'm reading it.
So a couple of things. So Walnut is not a part of the lottery because they are a tested miss admission school. You would have to reach out directly to the school. Spencer is not in the lottery because it depends on a particular test score. In order to get into that school, it is not in the lottery. For Clark, the Montessori lottery was held much earlier this year. In the past, not so much. And even a few years ago, we tried to guarantee Montessori seats for high school for any sixth grader coming through our Montessori programs. We have not been able to continue that because we've had more students and we've had seats available. So of those schools listed, Clark is in a lottery, but it is a separate lottery. The Montessori lottery was separate. And what we did this year was go ahead and automatically put in our current sixth graders who are Montessori kids in the Montessori lottery. If that family wanted to choose something else, they could apply in this lottery and then decline their Clark or Gamble seat. That is a possibility, but you won't find Walnut or Spencer in any of the lotteries or SCPA. SCPA is a school you have to audition to get into. The exception for SCPA is our younger grades, but for high school, you have to audition. I hope that's clear.
No, that was fantastic. Thank you, Superintendent. All right, here we go. Now, we did get a whole pile of questions right at the same time, so bear with us just a moment as we work through them. We want you guys to know that we're hearing you and we appreciate you. Superintendent, back to your question about best ways to communicate with the community. We did get a response. Email, social media is the best way to communicate with them, so that was some feedback for you on that question. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I do appreciate the public participating with us, taking time during your middle of your day, during your lunchtime, where we do know and understand you could be doing other things, even just, taking a breather. So we definitely appreciate you engaging with us. And those types of responses are very helpful.
Thank you. And then we just had a good afternoon. So someone just, good afternoon, Superintendent.
Good afternoon.
Where would the Wilford Academy kids go? I read Clark will take over Woodford building, but I don't see any clarity where Woodford kids will stand.
Yes, so the current Woodford students who live in the neighborhood, generally speaking, the Kennedy Heights neighborhood, the plan is calling for them to go to Silverton. If you are a Woodford student and you don't live in the neighborhood, there are options. One option would be to enroll in your neighborhood school. The second option would be to participate in the lottery if there's another school that you may be interested in. And the third option for Woodford is that we will work with you on an individual basis to try to meet your needs. If you are outside of your neighborhood and it's a school that you would not ordinarily have transportation to, the hardship might be not receiving that transportation.
Thank you so much, Superintendent.
I'll say that's in general, and I will say that's where the plan is today, November the 14th, right?
Right.
Nothing finalized, nothing approved, nothing moving forward right now. I just really want to be clear about that.
And Superintendent, of course, anytime you have a shift like this, there will be individual students who are affected in unique ways, but the district, of course, will rally around them and, our wonderful customer service team, right?
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Rob. Absolutely.
All right, our next question. Are you guys concerned about the statements that the DOE, Department of Education, will be removed? How will that affect our decisions? Will that affect the district's decision making?
So we have heard that our president-elect has said they're going to end the Department of Education. We have had concerns about public education for many years. Some of this growth plan is all about us trying to take the lead on being as efficient and effective and affordable as we possibly can be before someone else tells us what we need to do or how to do it. Because we believe in taking care of our students first. There are rules and laws and legislation that is being discussed that we want to stay ahead of and try to solve for some of those types of concerns that may be coming our way.
Thank you. Great question, Superintendent. I appreciate it. All right. Hi, I'm a proud CPS teacher, and I hope it's okay. I'm on Facebook, on this Facebook Live. I'm home today with a sick child, so I jumped on. My school is one that would be impacted by the growth plan. I've been following the growth plan, board meetings, etc., closely because I'm also a sixth grade Montessori parent. My question is about space. If Woodford does become a junior high, where would the units go? We have 6 specialized units serving autism from pre-K to 6, plus the DHH program. Can our units stay together? Not just the teacher and para, but the whole team.
Yes. So the plan would be just that we would keep the students in the units together with their teacher, with the paraprofessional. That would be the plan. And that would be my ideal. I'm not able to say quite yet where they will go, but what we do want to do to every extent possible is keep the students in the classrooms together for our specialized units, yes. With their teachers, with their paraprofessional, yes.
Thank you so much, Superintendent.
Thanks, Rob.
All right, our next question. Will the redistricting affect the STEM status and programs at Hughes STEM High School?
That's a great question. So at one time, we were being told that if we moved the seventh and eighth grade from Hughes, that would have a negative impact on their STEM accreditation. That is another one of those questions where I went to do some homework, to do some research, and I could not find anything that indicated that to be accurate. And so I did ask the STEM community to please share with me any documentation that says that is the way it must be. And I simply don't have that. If there is someone who can share with me something that says that is the case, I am happy and want to look at it immediately. But based on what I know right now, there is nothing out there that says in order to be STEM accredited, you have to have seventh and eighth graders involved.
There is a follow-up to that question,
Mhm.
and it's I'm meaning all 6 units move together. So they're saying the whole bundle moves together into one.
I don't know the answer to that quite yet. That does sound really nice and ideal. I can't say that that would be the case at this point. Sorry, I misunderstood the question.
And thank you for the follow-up. I think that's important as we have more people jumping on. We're going to real quick explain how you can get involved. And if there are questions you want clarity to, please comment and we will make sure to share their clarification with the superintendent. We have about 15 minutes left. If you'd like to engage, you can share in the chat. You can ask questions on Zoom. We've shared the link if you want to join us and directly have a conversation with the superintendent. You can leave your questions in the comments on Facebook and we will share them with the superintendent. We love to hear your feedback. So we really appreciate it. Superintendent, how about a little bit of kudos? We've got some thank you for engaging online in real time. It's appreciated.
Oh,
Um,
my pleasure. Really appreciate you more for taking the time to join us right now.
and the follow up to that follow up is thank you so much, by the way, for
Awesome.
clarifying. So,
Awesome.
and then again, we have another thank you. This is great work the district is doing. So.
Thank you. This is hard work. Um, Change can be very, very difficult, very challenging. We are trying to address many things with this plan. One, we're trying to be able to provide efficiencies for our district. We are trying to save money. We are trying to save money. We are also trying to, at the same time, provide the programming that our public is asking for. We are also trying to do this being conscientious of jobs, our employees. We care about them. We care about this city and the impact that education has on the city at large. All of those things are factors. Someone mentioned earlier for us some possible legislation that is coming our way and that is here and that is real. And I'm not an attorney, and so I don't want to misspeak on some of those things, but we are trying to be ahead of what may be coming our way and a demand or two that may be put on us. And so let's try to problem solve on our own. We have some amazing programs and schools where others want to have a seat at the table. And we want to provide that seat. This is public education. And so we welcome everyone who wants a Cincinnati public school education to the table. We don't want to have to transport children across the city if we don't have to do that. And we think that we don't have to do that as much anyway as we do currently. We would like to be able to have families access their schools a little more efficiently at any time. And sometimes if a kid is across the city, it may be more challenging to be able to reach your child, and we don't want that. We want to be able to increase our college access, increase our employability through our career and technical education, and we want to be able to have more military options for students who want those options. And we can do this. I understand it's a little uncomfortable, and some of the adaptive change that we're asking for, people are happy the way things are. I say all the time, even my local grocery store is not the same as it was a year ago. much less 5 or 10 years ago. And so these changes, it's no commentary in a negative way about what is happening in our schools. We're extremely proud of our schools, and we're looking to expand the services to more students. That's all. And we're looking to do it in the most efficient, effective, and cost-saving way for our public taxpayers. We believe that this will help relieve our general fund. We believe this will help with our transportation system. We believe that this is in the best interest of our middle-aged junior high students, not only academically, but social emotionally. And it is a wraparound approach to the whole child and everything that the child requires to be healthy and to be successful. We want to increase our services to our students and families experiencing homelessness. I can't imagine what it could be like to worry about, will my child have proper shoes to wear to school the next day? But I see it every day, and we have a team that works on it every day. And we want to be able to continue to support that work so that our kids can come to school, so that they can learn. We have the best product out there, and we want to be able to deliver that every day in real time. This plan will help us to do that for all kids.
Thank you so much, Superintendent, not just for that, but for the love and care that you show our students every day. We appreciate that.
Thank
So,
you.
all right, kicking right along. Here's our next question. If you have a Montessori middle school, how many students will you accommodate? And how does that number differ if this is a 7 through 12 high school?
So the 7 through 12 high school right now at Clark, I think seventh grade, they can take 135 students. At Gamble Montessori, they're able to take a few more than that. Maybe it's more like 150. I don't know if I want to be quoted on that. But if I have a footprint of a school, then with a middle school concept, then I can take more students. If I have high schools, both Gamble and Clark, that are standalone 9 through 12, then I can take more students. And then we are offering more seats that our parents are demanding and asking for. If we don't make this change, then I can't offer them, and I'm concerned then that we will lose some of our students, some of our families.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. If phase two is not approved, is there a plan B?
There is not a plan B.
There's not a plan B.
There
Very
is
good.
not a plan B.
All right. Um, so again, if you'd like to engage, we have a few more minutes. If you want to leave a comment in the Facebook comment section, we will share it with the superintendent like we have been. This is Open Office District Growth with Superintendent Shauna Murphy, taking time to just do exactly that. Have an opportunity to just have an open office and communicate. So we have about 10 minutes left. We appreciate everyone's comments. And we are waiting for you to jump in. And we thank you, everyone, by the way, for all of the positive comments as well, the thank yous, and that's important to hear too. So thank you for sharing all of those.
It's definitely important to hear, and we definitely appreciate it. I also want to say thank you to my team, Rob, Mary. I'm not sure if anyone else is on. I can't see everyone, but I definitely appreciate all the work that has gone into making this happen, so that we can engage with our public, so that we can talk to our public, so that we can hear from them. I wish there was a better way that this is like a more dialogue. I hope you feel that you're being heard. I hope that you feel that this is one example of an opportunity to hear from you. I do. I take good notes, and we'll go back and review things that are said and shared with me. I'm a processor, and so I do like to listen to what people have to say, and I definitely appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you, Superintendent. We appreciate it. We had a really good discussion at the board meeting Wednesday about extracurricular activities and about how all the offerings that Cincinnati Public Schools offers. How will the phase plan affect extracurricular activities? Positive, negative? What do you see happening?
It's so interesting. I don't see a negative impact with our extracurricular activities. We will still have resource coordination in our buildings. We will still have athletics In our buildings. Our team over the last several years has done an amazing job of building out some elementary school athletic opportunities. Today, we were partnering with Activities Beyond the Classroom to have a soccer outing at FC Cincinnati. Because of the weather, we've had to postpone that. And so we do believe that there will continue to be first class offerings for our young people. We know that when kids are engaged in extracurricular activities, they tend to do better in the classroom. That's another adult that child has a relationship with, that child can go to, that child looks up to. And so we appreciate and we respect our athletics department, our fine arts department, our community learning center team with our school community partners. That is where our work around peer leadership and student voice lies. So you may have heard of our MORE program for the young men, our Girls to Women program for our young ladies, our philanthropy program, a college awareness program, a wellness program, a employment program. We at one point had Speak Up, Speak Out happening in our schools. We do have a group of students who work with me. We began and had our first session this year on November the 1st, where they came and had conversations with me about what they see and don't see, want to see, and don't want to see in their schoolhouses. And they said, we want to continue to talk. We want to continue to be together. And so we're providing them another opportunity in January. And they said this time, instead of coming here to the Ed Center, they want to go to each other's schools and really see in real time what's happening in the schoolhouses. And so we're going to do that with that group of students in January. It's a group of young people representing each of our high schools, and they shed some real light on some things. And young people will tell you the truth. And so I'm very interested in continuing that work. So we have more extracurricular activities and clubs that have not yet been documented that we will work over the next period of time to make sure that we account for those students and their participation in every after-school extracurricular activity that we offer.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. All right, we have more questions, and here we go.
Okay.
All right. Students with secondary Montessori education that Clark and/or Gamble provide, but if you remove the junior high program from the building, the education is different. You may still lose students if you disrupt a program that is successful as it is. So that's feedback. You want to
Thank
comment?
you. Thank you. I accept your feedback. We don't want to lose any students. We don't want to lose any students.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the feedback, by the way. Forgive me if this has already been asked, but if students have accepted the offered placement at their respective Montessori school, are these offers still valid?
Yes.
There we go. Yes. All right. And then our next question, this is a follow-up to the question about count for seventh graders. And I noticed they remembered your number, Superintendent. So here is the count of seventh graders, 135 Clark, 150 Gamble. So how many more students could we accommodate?
At either, that's it. That's the max we can accommodate at Gamble, 150, and at Clark, 135. Right now at grade 7, that's the max that we can accommodate.
I think they're asking if the plan was accepted, how would it grow and
Oh,
add more seats, I think is what they're
I'm
trying to.
sorry.
No, no.
Well, I apologize. So on the east side, Clark, there'd be an entire school. So for every sixth grade student that we have right now on the east side, we're talking North Avondale, Pleasant Ridge Montessori, and Sands Montessori, we would be able to accept everyone. On the west side, that will take us a little bit more time, but right now I believe there are about 22 students who are either at Parker Woods, Gamble Montessori, or Dater Montessori elementary schools who we are not able to provide a seat. We want to end that. If you are in a sixth grade Montessori seat and you want a seventh grade Montessori seat, we want to be able to provide that for you. So we're working really hard to be able to get there.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. This one's a little lengthy, so I'll read it for you.
Okay.
I understand the district and schools are growing. Yay. And Wonderful that things will need to change and grow. Will you be surveying the community families about different options in phase two? Does phase two have two different options? Not so much looking for a survey, but a change versus not change, though I know some people would want them, but how to give feedback, different variable options that are being considered. I can't always make board meetings, and it feels like voices get intimidated if they are not part of the majority that shows up. Would love another way to give feedback to the administration. Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate that. If you are a part of our school district, and when I say that, I mean you are an employee, a parent, or a student, or a community partner, we have climate surveys. And that is one way you could possibly give feedback. And whether you are or you are not, you may email me at any time. Now, I usually pride myself on about 24 hours notice. Um, I may need to expand it this week to about 48, but I do respond rather quickly, I would say. So if you want to email me your feedback directly, that's fine. If there's something you want to do anonymously, again, utilizing maybe our customer care center, that is a way you could also get information to us to consider. I will write down your thought about a survey. I get really worried about survey fatigue for our families and students in particular and our partners. So if you're a citizen on this call and not connected in any of those other ways, let me think through how to get feedback from you.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. And we are at time. We have no further questions. Is there anything you'd like to leave us with at the end of this
I
session?
will just repeat, I can't say enough, thank you. Thank you, one, for entrusting your children in Cincinnati Public Schools. Thank you, two, for taking the time to be on this call and sharing what you believe and how you feel. It is valued, it is recognized. At some point, a decision will be made. And I hope that either way the decision is made, you'll continue to partner with us and continue to work with us. I certainly want to work with all of you. Cincinnati Public Schools means so much to me. You've probably heard me say a few times, I started my career in Cincinnati Public Schools at Swifton Primary. And Bond Hill Academy. Grew up in Bond Hill. I live in Bond Hill. I need for us to have a thriving community that we are all well invested in. And that's what I see to be my job. I'm here to serve you, to serve the children. That's what I want to do. That's what our team wants to do. And we appreciate your voice and hearing from you today.
And Superintendent, as we end, we know there's a lot of late nights and early mornings, but again, thank you for all the love and care you show our students every day. We
Thank
greatly
you, Rob.
appreciate it. So,
Thank you.
all right.
Rob,
And
do you know when the next session is?
the next session, I believe, is, sorry, let me pull it up here. Yes, the next session is it's another noon session. It'll be Monday on the 18th. We have a noon session on the 18th, and then we have a 5 p.m. session on the 21st as well. So,
Great.
and we have also shared that calendar on Facebook as well. For that, not just that, but all the open engagement sessions for all the different phase sessions have been shared. So,
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you
all right.
so much, Rob. Thank you, team. Mary, if you're on, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, and have a good afternoon.
You too.